yourself, or you can never say how you really feel. Until now, yeah. When the sun down, my mind is on the rundown. I be feeling like my happiness is on the come down. But when I speak to you, I feel like it's a touchdown. Finally found me someone I can really trust now. I always have so much to say, but no one to say it to. If I could talk to you today, I know I can make it through. So let's have this conversation like a radio station. So let's have this conversation like a radio station.
It's finally Friday, and it's time for the conversation with Maria Byrd.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. You are listening to The Conversation with Maria Byrd, and today I'm super excited about the show because we have with us a very special guest. She is an entrepreneur and founder of two companies, Rooted Anchor and Compassion in Crisis in Atlanta, Georgia. And she is blazing trails for her generation to follow. Born on the fast track to success, she graduated high school as valedictorian and the youngest ever to graduate from her private Christian school. Licensed and ordained as a minister of the gospel at only 16 years old, she wrote her first book while she was still a teenager. She holds a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology from Lee University and is a first-year Master of Science student in Marriage and Family Therapy. The remarkable thing is she accomplished all of this as a teenager and is only 20 years old. Today, she is a sought-after speaker and author known internationally for her pure heart, her love for God, and her genuine compassion for people. Please help me welcome to the show my very special guest, Nysi Kilgore. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm so super excited to be here.
Yes, it's an honor to have you. You know, you are my sister in Christ.
Yes.
And so, yeah, so how are you? How have you been?
I'm super good. I'm super excited to be here. Like I said, I'm a little sleepy because it's summer break and I've been sleeping in, so it's kind of early, but to get up and get here. But I'm good. I'm really good.
Yes.
Glad to be here.
And so before we get started, can you just tell the people a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, well, like you said, my name is Nysi Kilgore. Aside from all of that, I'm a daughter. I'm the oldest of three. I have a younger brother and a younger sister. My brother actually graduates from high school tomorrow.
Yes,
and I have
congratulations,
a 16-year-old sister. I'm a puppy mom. I have a little dog. His name is Miles, and he is so bad, but he's so cute. I love him so much. I do DIY. I do crafts. Like I said, I'm in the Masters of Science program. I'm at Leah University. I'm on break right now. And I'll decide to go back in the fall and get back into the groove of things. But yeah,
Wow, yes. Wow, well, that is so exciting. Again, it's an honor to have you here. Such a trailblazing individual at such a young age. A child prodigy. If I could just say that, a child prodigy. And so, regarding your mission, your mandate, your message, can you just tell us about Rooted Anchor? What exactly is it?
Yeah, Rooted Anchor is a organization for millennials. It's for college students, for young adults in transition like me. I was just thinking about my transition into college and my transition into adulthood, I guess you could say, into young adulthood. You come out of high school, you're 18, in May you're having to raise your hand to ask to use the restroom. You still need hall passes to go down the hall. You still need your parents' signature to get things done. And then come August, September, you're in college and they expect you to know how to do everything on your own. And it's like shell shock. I just went from having to ask for permission to this being expected to know how to do everything on my own. And I just I don't think there's enough credit given to millennials, especially the younger part of millennials, that are early 20s, heading into your mid 20s,
right?
Just how hard that transition is. And so Rooted Anchor is there for support through that transition. We get that it's hard, we get that it's not easy, but we also want you to know that you're not alone in the struggle. You're not going through this alone, which I think is a big that's the big rhetoric.
Yes,
a lot of young people, I'm alone, or I'm the only one going through this, or no one else has experienced this before. No, and that's what Rooted Anchor is here to let you know. Someone else has gone before you and gone through this and lived through this and survived.
Yes.
And so we're trying to give you tools to survive the transition. Transition happens to us all. Struggle happens to us all. But the key to getting through transition and to getting through struggle is your perspective.
That's
you know?
it.
Change your perspective on it. And, you know, instead of saying, oh, like, I'm going through this hard thing, you know, like complaining and crying and griping, you know, you can really take a step back and say, okay, Lord, what are you trying to teach me through this? How can I grow from this? How can my character change through this? And so that is what Rooted Anchor is. It's just support groups, life groups together, mentoring, counseling for young adults to say, hey, you're going through transition. We get that. Let us help you.
Wow, I love that. I love that because, you know, oftentimes everyone needs that extra support when we're going through transition. Again, especially from, you know, being that young adult, being that adolescent into, you know, adulthood. It could be a tough transition. I remember when I transitioned, you know, and I remember it felt like being in a whirlwind or a tornado.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, what's happening?
Yeah.
You know, you know, for example, before, you know, the summer before college.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Everybody has the butterflies. Everybody's getting ready. You know, it's so
excited.
Yes, it's so exciting, right? But then at the same time, it's nerve-wracking.
Yes.
Right? Because you realize, like, okay, I'm about to move on campus.
Yeah. And your whole world changes, you know? And, like, you're at that summer before you go to college, you're, like, at the cusp of, like, a whole brand new world. And as excited as you are, there's a certain level of nerves, of fear, of anxiety. Like, I don't know what to expect. I'm leaving my comfort zone. I'm leaving my mama's house. You know, I don't know. I don't know what type of roommate I'm about to get. You know, you just don't know. You know, I don't know where I'm going to fit in. Like, how am I going to fit in? You know, like, how am I going to make new friends? What about my classes? You know, it's just a lot. There's a lot of change. There's so many emotions that come into going into college, and I think we don't talk about it enough.
Yes.
We don't give credit enough to the amount of different emotions that you feel during this transition. And so, no, I totally
and so Nysi, I wanted to ask you, regarding your transition.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that for a moment. Let's talk about your transition, into college, and then, like, if you could tell us about that first day.
Oh, oh goodness. Okay. So we could talk about the first day. That first day, I think my class started like 8 maybe 7:45. I think I was up at like 6:30, like picking out an outfit and like packing my bag with like all my notebooks. And I was a freshman. I had that like lanyard on my neck with my keys and my student ID and all my cards, And I went through like my schedule like 20 times, and I
did that too.
I went through that schedule. I was like, okay, I got to be here at this time and this time and this time. And so I left with my roommate, and we went and we got breakfast together. And then we went our separate ways, and then I walked to the wrong classroom. I was so confident. I confidently walked into the wrong classroom. I was like, this is not where I'm supposed to be. I don't think I'm supposed to be here. So got turned around, and I think at the end of the day, I think I came back, and I think I took a nap. And I called my mom and was like, I'm so tired, I thought 8 a.m.s were a great idea, but they were not a good. I was like, I did it in high school, I can do it in college. It's the same. It is not the same thing. It is not the same thing. No, my first day was very interesting, and it was raining. I go to school in Cleveland, Tennessee, and so Cleveland is in what we call the Valley. So it's like right in between. It's slap dab in between all the mountains in the North Georgia mountains, and so the Valley gets tons of rain. And so I'm pretty sure it rained my first day of college. It rained. I'm pretty sure it rained on me. I didn't have an umbrella, and my hair was wet.
Right.
It was a lot. It was a lot, but it was good. My transition was very interesting. I thought I was prepared. I thought I was ready. Everyone told me it's going to be the best 4 years of your life.
Come on, Nysi. It's going to be. Come on.
It's going to be great. And it's going to be fantastic. And so I entered into college looking for the best 4 years of my life. Now, mind you, it was only 2 for me because I had done 2 in high school. Yes. But I'm still coming into this thing looking for the best experience of my life. And when I got there, it was not the best experience of my life initially.
Wow. Talk about it.
I had culture shock. Now, mind you, I was homeschooled for a very long time, and then when I finally did go to a private school, my mom was my guidance counselor, and my dad was my Bible teacher, and my brother and sister were in the same school, so I wasn't homeschooled anymore, but home was at school,
Yes.
And so that was my first time really, really ever being away from my family like that, So it's culture shock there. I was homesick, out of this world, and because of that whole, we can say, cocktail of emotions that I had been feeling that summer before I was like, who is Nysi? I don't know Nysi outside of the Kilgore family. I don't know who I am outside of the 5 of us, because this is what we've been the 5 of us. And, so what do I do without my other 4?
Wow.
Like, who am I? And then the anxiety of, I'm 17 years old going to classes with 21 and 22-year-olds, because I'm a freshman in age, but in credit hour, I'm a junior. So, like, just a lot of different emotions. So homesick, culture shock, anxiety, depression that I didn't know how to give adequate a name to, because I did not really know what depression was. I did not really know what anxiety was, And so I'm feeling these things. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to hang out with my roommate, which caused conflict between me and my roommate, because she was like, hey, you don't want to hang out with me. And I'm like, I do want to hang out with you, but I just don't want to leave this room. I don't know why I don't want to leave this room. Like, I just want to stay in here, And so my transition was bumpy, It was rough. And because no one told me about the valley part,
wow.
Because, you're a mom. I heard my mom say this multiple times. She goes, when you're in labor and you're in childbirth, the pain is horrendous, but when that baby gets here, you forget it all.
Yeah.
She goes, it just disappears. You're like, my baby's here. It's great. And I think people do that in all of life experiences, we get to the other end of that hard thing and we're like, it's the best experience of my life, but we don't remember the valley parts or the low parts. We just remember this euphoric high that we're on now that it's over. And so everyone told me about the mountain peak, but no one told me about the valley parts. And so here I was sitting in the valley like, well, no one's been here before, this is only me,
Right.
And so it was hard. It was tough. There were a lot of transition. There were roommate fights and arguments and being called out of my name and rumors about me going around campus because, it was a lot. That transition was hard.
So, Nysi, yes. I mean, I love that what you're sharing with us, this transparency, that, like you said, the transition was hard. But how did you navigate through that?
Yeah. Honestly, the first thing I did was have a good support system. And I think that's so vital, not just through college transition or any transition in life, through life, period. You go through so much that you need to have a solid, stable, good support system, And then secondly, I went to counseling.
Yes, talk about that. Let's talk about that because one of the things about counseling, we talked about this a little bit before the show, but especially when it comes to the body of Christ or just different social circles, when it comes to counseling, it may be taboo.
Yeah.
And people may be afraid to talk about it, but let's talk about it. Yes, talk about that.
In the body of Christ, but also in the African American community.
Yes.
Mental health awareness, mental illness, counseling, it's not very talked about and it's kind of shunned upon,
Yes.
We don't talk about depression, we don't talk about anxiety, although African Americans experience depression and anxiety way more than any other demographic. There is studies that show that African Americans experience it more, but it's because we don't talk about it.
Wow.
We don't talk about
because
it.
We don't
talk
about it,
we experience it more. And so I remember walking myself. Well, at first I had a friend walk over with me to get the intake papers for counseling. And so she walked over there with me. I got the papers. I brought them back to my room. I filled them out. So I remember walking across the street to drop them off. And I remember having to give myself this pep talk because I felt weak. I felt shameful. I didn't want anyone to see me walking into the counseling center. Like, I felt less than because I knew I needed help.
Yes.
I felt like I was going crazy. I couldn't handle it anymore. I was like, I have to get help. I have to get help. And what I'm doing is not working, so I need to have someone give me something else to do because this is not working.
Yes.
But what I realized was I was not weak because I chose to go to counseling. I was strong because I recognized I had a problem and I found a way to get help through the problem, And I think that was the key to me getting through college and getting through that rough patch of college was that I had to change my perspective. Yes. I am not weak. I am not less than. I am not belittled. I am strong.
That's it.
I am more than a conqueror because I can see my flaws. I see the problem within myself and I'm making the proper steps to change it. Matter of fact, I'm farther ahead than a lot of people because I've recognized my problem.
Wow.
And so I think in the body of Christ, another aspect beyond that I just didn't want to talk about and I felt crazy was in the body of Christ, we don't really talk about depression and anxiety. We don't talk about mental illness in a way that is non-threatening.
Right.
Depression is a demon. Anxiety is the devil. All this stuff is a demon. And so for weeks leading up to going to counseling, I really do feel like I was at the altar every Sunday asking God to deliver me because I was like, this just has to be a demon. This just has to be a demon. And if I was more saved, if maybe my relationship with God is not good because I'm experiencing so many different factors in counseling that I had to set aside. No. Although some of this was spiritual. I do believe was a spiritual attack. Some of it wasn't. Some of it was just transition and change and hormone changes and some of this is just hormone changes, and you're gonna be okay. Just ride the boat, ride the wave. Get the help you need and ride the wave.
Yes,
ride it out. Ride it out.
We have to ride it out. Come on, and Nysi, this is so good. And I just love how you said that you wasn't weak.
No, yeah.
It's not about being weak, but it's about being strong. And getting help for the what's going on.
Yeah.
And so that's a word of encouragement to anyone that's listening.
Yeah.
And Nysi, I wanted you to give us this intelligence regarding like, what are some signs? What are some of the things that you experience? What are some signs that an individual may need to go ahead and take that next step and talk to someone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, number one sign is change in character. So for me, but the people at my school didn't know, but for me, I was the president of the National Honor Society Club. I was the lead worshiper at our worship team. I had started the worship team at my school. I was I was vice president for my class in tons of leadership roles. So very outgoing, very out there, exuberant. So for me, change of character was me sitting in my room the whole time. Different,
Yes.
If someone, if you keep inviting someone somewhere and they don't want to come out, if they're spending an excessive amount of time in their room or excessive amount of time alone, watch their mood. If they're sleeping a lot, if there's a lot of sleeping going on, your regular sleeping of a college student, we do sleep a lot, but
But no, I know what you're saying.
Obsessive sleeping, you know what I'm saying? Obsessive sleeping, not really wanting to talk, not really wanting to go out, just what it takes a lot of observation for you to be like, okay, hey, maybe, if they're not taking care of their self-hygiene, if they're not wanting to shower, if they're not wanting to comb their hair, if they're not wanting to, like, change their clothes, they're staying in the same clothes really often, of course, like, sitting in dark or low-lit rooms, those are the type of things that you just want to, like, look for to be like, okay, hey, there might not be something right. And even beyond that, because some people can be functioning through depression. So theirs might not look like I'm sitting in a dark room, I don't want to change my clothes, blah, 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 blah. It might look like shying away from groups of people. It might look like inviting me. Oh, no, I always have something else to do. I told people, they would always invite me. People would get so frustrated with me because they would invite me places, and I'd be like, oh, no, I don't want to go. They'd be like, but you don't have anything else to do. Oh, no, I just don't feel like I want to go. I just want to stay in my room. I want to talk to my mom, blah, 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 blah. That's telltales. Okay. You never want to go?
Wow.
Like, you never want to hang out? Those are things. My suggestion to someone that might be like, okay, I think some of my life might be helped. Be observant and don't be afraid to ask straight shooting questions. I was a resident chaplain at my school, so I had to go through a whole training on mental health and awareness and all the type of things. And they told us, like, oftentimes people think, for example, if someone's suicidal, you think that if I ask them, are you suicidal, it'll cause them to want to commit suicide. That's a lie. No, actually confronting it head on is the better option than beating around the bush if you really have a concern about someone. So if you're really concerned, ask, are you depressed? Like, I need to know, are you depressed? Are you anxious? Whatever. I think we talked about it earlier. Not being real with what you're feeling and not being real about your emotions is going to run you crazy.
Whew, come on, talk about that.
No, it's going to run you crazy. Beyond mental health, beyond anything else. As millennials, as young people, we're going through so much transition. We're in this constant state of becoming. We're becoming who we're created to be. And for people like me, it might seem like I have it all figured out. I'm still becoming too.
Yeah, me too.
We don't know the end result.
Right.
Constantly changing and becoming. And that constant changing and becoming can sometimes be overwhelming,
Wow.
And so, be real with yourself. Be real with what you're feeling. Be real with what you feel like is going on. Be real with your decisions that you feel like you have to make. Because if you're not being real with yourself, you're going to run yourself up a wall trying to decipher who I really want to be and who everyone else wants me to be.
Talk about that. Yes, because we talked about that a little bit before the show, but you did mention how those two can conflict.
Oh,
yes. Talk about that.
Yes. We talked about, living a fast track life, like, I did graduate valedictorian, I have done a lot of things at a very young age. We talked about, like, a race. I've been on this fast-paced race, And oftentimes, we talk about within a sprint or in a long race, you become easily winded. The race is finished quicker, but the amount of breath you lose is also a lot more extraneous. It takes as quick as you run the race, in that same quickness you lose your breath, And so oftentimes you're out of breath. When you're a sprinter, when you're a fast-paced runner, you have to build your lung capacity to be able to handle those type of sprints, But there still comes a time when you're fatigued. And still comes a time when you're tired. And so what will happen is, for someone like me, or someone like anyone that feels like, you know, I have to get it all right, or I have to meet these expectations, what you'll find is your body will be telling you to slow down, or to stop running, or to take a break, or to maybe jog instead of sprint, or maybe, you know, maybe you need to jog a little bit and then walk a little bit and then jog a little. You know, your body's telling you what you need to do, but because people are watching, and because you feel like you have this expectation that I have to keep running, you'll keep sprinting through and burn yourself out.
Wow.
You're not being real with yourself. You know, you're not telling yourself like, hey, the realness is I need a break. But because y'all expect me to keep going, I'm going to keep going because I don't want to disappoint. I don't want to seem less than. I don't want people to judge me because I'm a sprinter. That's who I am, you know, because oftentimes what will happen is you'll begin to find your identity in the things that you do and how fast you're running your race instead of finding your identity in where it needs to be found. And so I'm a runner, you know, I'm a sprinter. That's what I do. You know, my accomplishment, that's what I am. And so I have to do this. I have to keep going. I cannot stop because they expect me to keep going, you know?
Right.
And so you're not being real with yourself, and what will happen is the real you, the me that says I need a break, I need to stop, I want to do this, will conflict with the person with the people in your ear saying keep going, you need to keep going, that's who you are, blah blah blah. And so what happens is you'll be doing this internally your whole life, and what you'll find is you'll just run off the track instead of what was meant to be a break will end up you'll be completely quitting. You'll quit because you weren't, you know, you were never meant to quit. It was never meant to kill you. God told you what to do, but you let other people get into your ear and tell you otherwise, and so now you quit, not because you had to quit, but because you weren't obedient, you know?
Now see, this is good. This is so good because you know what you're telling us is that, you know, for all of those individuals that, you know, you may be in a fast track, you may be like you said, you may be a sprinter, or you may feel the hand of God accelerating you in some area of your life, but we have to make sure that we're paying attention to our body. Because what happens is, oftentimes when you're on that fast track, you get fatigued.
Yes.
You get tired.
And it's to be expected. You know, it's a false burden and a false expectation to think that you're just going to keep running without a break.
Come on.
That's crazy. To believe that you're not going to need a break. You are human. I know you think you're superhuman, and people have told you that you're superhuman, but you're not superhuman. You're just a human being. And what will happen is by not listening to your body and not listening to what the Lord is telling you to do, you'll exceed your grace threshold. And what you'll be doing is you'll be running outside of grace. And so what was supposed to be easy, what was not supposed to be hard, will now become hard because I kept running when I was supposed to stop.
You know? This is good.
You know?
Come on.
Because you know, God gives us breaks. They're necessary. Maybe through that break He wanted to reboot you and recoup you because He knew what was coming next. But because you didn't take a break and you let other people tell you what you're supposed to do instead of listening for yourself, you're running into these walls, you're running into these potholes, you're tripping over your own feet, you're falling out, your head hurts, you're dehydrated. Not because you had to be. There was a pit stop in place for you, but because you kept going and didn't listen, you know?
See, I love this. I love this because we was talking about this before the show. We was talking about thresholds, and I love how you said it, your grace threshold. You know, every individual has a different threshold, right? Because often, this is the danger when you compare yourself to other people, or when people compare. I'm telling you, we cannot compare because there is something called a threshold. We all can receive or take different levels of pain.
Yes.
Right? And we all have different, spiritually speaking, we all have different grace thresholds. Right?
Yes.
And so, like we were saying earlier, some of the things that you may have went through in college, another person went through it and they dropped out.
Yeah.
Right? Because we all have different, so we have to pay attention to the signs. You know, if we're feeling fatigued, if we're feeling dehydrated, if we're getting, like you said, if our character changes, that's the big one.
Yeah. If something that you're passionate about now frustrates you, like you are passionate, you know, you were on fire for this thing, and now you're frustrated and the thought of it makes you sick, that's a red flag. Take a break. Sit down and take a break, you know? Necessary. You have to know your threshold. Have to know your threshold.
You have to know your threshold. And so everyone that's listening, you know, you have to make sure that you pay attention to the signs. We have to, because like you said, what happens is when you should have just taken a break, now you completely quit.
And you were never meant to quit. I don't believe the Lord will give you something and put something on your heart and cause you to do something. The Bible says, he that begun a good work will finish it, you know? And if if I'm made in the image of Christ, that means that the things I start, I'm supposed to finish, you know? God would not give me a passion, a desire, a thing that burns in my heart, and then have me quit midway through. No, that's not God. That's not the character of God. That's not the heart of God for you to start and never complete. But he gives you pit stops and grace stops and grace points in the process, because the Lord knows the race. He knows the beginning from the end of the thing. So he knows, okay, around the 500 meter mark she's gonna need a break. Okay, around 150 she's gonna need another break. You know, like the Lord knows. So we have to listen, you know, have to listen to the race, because he wants you to complete. He wants you to finish. The heart of God for you is to complete everything that he has placed on your heart to complete, but you have to listen to him to be able to complete it. He's the greatest coach.
That's it. God is the greatest coach.
He's the greatest coach.
Yes, and by no means are we coming against promotion. We're not talking about promotion. We're not talking about you know being elevated in any capacity. You know, especially you know at your job, or maybe you know if you're a pastor, for example. But what we're talking about again is you know running the race that has been set before you. You know, like if the Lord has said, you know, call you to be a mother and a wife, for example. Yes. Let's go there, because I'm both of those. Yes, yeah. And so if the Lord, if all of the mothers and the wives, you know, if the Lord has called you to be a mother and a wife, or a daughter, or a minister, or, you know, wherever the Lord has called you to do, you know, we should never feel like, if you feel like, okay, I can't do this anymore. Yeah. That means that you are overdue. Yes. Right? For a pit stop. Come on, we call them sabbaticals. Yes, you know, in the kingdom of God, we call them sabbaticals. But it's, baby, you need a break. You need a break. You know what I mean? Like that's so key. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, can you just talk about that a little bit more? Yeah. No. Yeah. And even back to, I think a lot of that, something that might also play into the fatigue during your race is like you talk about comparison. You know, we always like I feel like, well, since this mom is doing her kids this way, you know, and her kids are turning out really great, I need to do my kids this way. Or since this student is studying this way, I need to study this way so I can get these good grades too. Or, you know, or since she's doing her life this way, maybe I should do my life that way. The grass always looks greener on the other side, but maybe the grass is not green on the other side. Or maybe it is greener, but maybe it's because the time you're spending looking at their grass and comparing yourself to their grass, they're spending tending to their grass and working their grass and watering it and putting new, you know, making their grass fresh. So no, the grass is greener on the other side, but it's because they're focusing on their grass. So focus on your own grass. Focus on your own race, and your grass can be just as green. Your race can be just as good, you know? Yes. Because, you know, every race is different. Every call is different. Every mandate is different. And so there's no need to compare yourself to me to compare to you, you to compare to me. Our race is different. That's right. Our race is different. And so the only person you can turn to with your own race is the Lord, the one that put you on the race, you know? Turn to him and ask him for guidance. Ask him what you should do. That is one of the biggest things that I have learned, you know, through my journey. Of course, I have my parents to go to. Of course, I'm not saying that you should not have people in your life that you should go to ask for wisdom, because I do believe that in the council, in the multitude of people, there's wisdom, you know. In the multitude council, there's wisdom. You know, I do believe that. However, I am saying that your number one counselor should be the Lord. Come on. Your number one key of wisdom should be the Lord. We shouldn't be looking at you, and you to give me answers, you know? We should be turning to him for the answers. He's the one that put you on the race. He's the one that gave you the call. He's the one that gave you the mandate. Turn to him. Yes. No, look to him, you know? I mean, of course, God puts other people into your life, and you should turn to them as well. But after you get done talking to them, after you get their wisdom, after you put that into your spirit, you need to go to God. Okay, God, I've heard all these things. Now, what are you saying about this? You know? Yes. You know. So yes. Kill comparison. You know. Woo, kill comparison. Kill comparison, especially with women. That is such a big. That's such a big thing with women. Kill comparison. Comparison plants so many seeds of bitterness and rejection and hurt that does not have to be there. I should not be comparing myself to you. We should be trying to lift each other up. That's it. Help each other, cheer each other on. If you're too busy comparing yourself to your sister or your brother in their own race, you're never going to be able to take the time to cheer them on in their race. And that's what brothers and sisters are for. Yes. Wow. To cheer each other on in our races, not to be comparing ourselves to each other. Come on. The woman of God said that we have to kill comparison. Wow. OMG. Nysi. Yes. This is already off to an amazing start. Where you guys, we're getting ready to take a quick commercial break, but don't go anywhere. Keep it locked right here. You're listening to The Conversation with Maria Byrd.
for tuning in to The Conversation with Maria Byrd.
So let's have this conversation
On WIGO 1570 AM radio.
You can connect with Maria Byrd here Fridays on The Conversation at 11 a.m. Go to www.mariabyrd.org. You can sign up for her newsletter. Check out the latest from The Conversation. You can be the next guest, have your song featured, or donate to the cause. Learn about marketing opportunities. Check out the giveaways, special promotions, free tickets, and the latest from Maria Byrd Publications. Again, log on to www.mariabyrd.org. That's www.mariabyrd.org.
WIGO 1570 AM radio.
Greater is coming. Greater is coming for me. Greater is. Greater is coming for me. Say greater is coming. Greater is coming for me. Greater is. Greater is coming for me. If God be who He is, and I'm His child, say it's gonna happen. It will. It will. Yeah. Say favor is coming. Favor is coming for me. Favor is. Favor is coming for me. Say favor is coming. Favor is coming for me. Speak it over your life now and say favor is. Favor is coming for me. Now say if God be who He is, and I'm His child, say it's gonna happen. It will. It will. We got one more. Say wealth is coming. Wealth is coming for me. All over your life, wealth is coming. Wealth is coming for me. You gotta know it is. Wealth is coming for me. Yeah. Say wealth is coming. Wealth is coming for me. Now say if God be who He is. If God be who He is. And I'm His child. Say it's gonna happen. It will. Yeah. Come on, clap your hands all over this place. Come on, begin to bless God for it right now. Yeah. Now if you believe it's gonna happen, come on and speak and help us say it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Yes, it will. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Say happen for me. It's gonna happen. Yes, it will. Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Say happen for me. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Yes, it will. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Say happen for me. Come on and clap those hands. Clap them like you know it's gonna happen. And say happen for me. Now say it will. It will. It will. It will. Say happen for me. It will. It will. It will. Say happen for me. It will. I know it will. Yes, it will. Happen for me. Hey.
Thank you for tuning in to The Conversation with Maria Byrd
So let's have this conversation
on WIGO 1570 AM radio.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back. You are listening to The Conversation with Maria Byrd. You just heard the hit song Greater Is Coming by Gregory J and Fame. And guess what, you guys? It's available right now for purchase on all digital media outlets. Not only that, you guys, but I want you to be sure to connect with me. I'm on social media. I'm on Facebook at Maria Byrd, on Instagram at Maria.Byrd. You can also follow me on the Conversation with Maria Byrd Facebook page, or check out my website, you guys, at www.mariabyrd.org. Also, you guys, I want you to be a financial blessing to this radio show and to Maria Byrd Publications. Come on, you guys, I need you to donate a seed to Cash App $Maria Byrd. If you can, a $100 seed. Again, that's the Cash App $MariaByrd. Well, you guys, we are back with my very special guest, minister, author, mentor, life coach, child prodigy, Nysi Kilgore. Welcome back to the show. Yes, it's been absolutely amazing. Before the break, you were just really breaking down and giving us that intelligence on counseling and Christian counseling and its significance. And so I wanted to ask you, regarding God is and the God is movement. Can you just break that down for us?
Yeah. So God is the name of my book. God is Lessons I Learned About God in College. And so, I talked about my transition, and I didn't talk about all the things I went through, but I went through various things, and it was really hard. And so, people have told me that college was going to be the best 4 years of my life. And so I kind of, talked to God, and my college experience was not typical of the one I was seeing around me. I asked God, I was like, what is the point? Why did you do this? What was it? What was it all? And I really felt that the Lord told me, I took you through this so that you could get the tools that you needed to make it through it, and then go back and reach back and give someone else those tools as they move forward. And so that's what God is. It's a tool. It's a tool book. It's a manuscript. It's a guide to making it through whatever various college experiences you might be going through, Like I said, to let other college students know, you are not alone in your struggle, and here are the tools to help you get through what you're struggling with,
Yes.
And so, with the God is movement, everyone has a story of who God is to them. Who God is to me is different than who God is to you, but all of our stories make up who God is. It makes up His character.
Wow,
us sharing who God has been to us helps broaden and make a bigger picture of who God is. And so, I think the world has done a bad job of portraying who God is to people.
Yes.
With all the various tragedies happening in the world, and things that are happening. A lot of people are blaming God, where is God, and why is God allowing all these school shootings and all these natural disasters? And so the picture of who God is has been misconstrued. And so through us sharing our story of who God is, we can repaint the picture. It's our words, but it's His story. And we can make God famous one story at a time, by you telling of His goodness, and me telling of His faithfulness, and someone else telling of His provision, and and someone else talking about His grace. We're repainting the picture of who God is, and inspiring hope in the hearts of people.
Yes.
That is the key. Hope drives it. Hope will keep you going when nothing else can, when you feel like you're giving up, or you have nothing else to run for. Hope, the hope that things will get better, the greater hope that all things work together for the good of them that love the Lord, and that the hope that if God can do it for her, He can do it for me. That hope keeps you going. And so that's what the God is movement is.
Wow.
Making God famous one story at a time.
I love that. How we're all coming together, and like you said, who God is to me may be different from who God is to you, but it together, it makes up who God is. I love that. And doesn't that tie in with the Compassion in Crisis movement?
Yes, Compassion in Crisis. So Compassion in Crisis long term is still in the works, but long term, Compassion in Crisis is going to be an international nonprofit counseling center, similar to what you might think of a Planned Parenthood, but not for those things, but more for a counseling perspective. So people, they don't have to fight the stigma of I have to tell my parents I'm going to counseling because they have to pay for it, or my friends are going to think about me, or this, that, and the rest. What we're going to do is we're going to partner with schools and youth centers and youth detention centers, and we're going to partner with them to give their youth an outlet to come and get, or anyone an outlet to come and get the hope they need, and inspire that hope, to give them that hope, regardless of their background or religion or sexual orientation or whatever, you know, come get the help you need, come get the hope that you need. You know, we can tell them who God is, you know, without having to say, oh, God did this and God did that. But we, you know, living out who God is has nothing to do with what you say, has everything to do with how you act. And so through my love for you, through my grace with you, through my compassion with you, through my lack of judging you, even through what you're telling me, the worst thing you've done, I still don't judge you, and I still love you, and I love you more. You know, it's showing them the love of God.
Yes.
It's showing them who God is. And so that's even what Compassion in Crisis is. We're trying to show people who God is and show them his heart for them, and show them his love for them. God's love is so big.
Yes.
His heart is so big, and he desires, you know, the Bible says, I wish above all things that you will prosper and be in divine health, even as your soul prosper. God wants your soul to prosper. He wants you to be a well-rounded, whole individual. He wants that. He desires that for you. And through Compassion in Crisis, we get to be facilitators to someone finding their wholeness, to someone finding their hope, you know, to someone finding, you know, who they are. And so,
yes. Wow, I love this. I love this. I love, you know, the awesome things that God is doing in your life, Nysi. Wow, I just celebrate you.
It's
Yes.
exciting. It's exciting.
It is so exciting because, you know, when I went to school, these things was not available. So, you know, I am just so optimistic, you know, for this next generation, you know, and I can see, you know, just how they don't have to deal with what because of the God in movement, because of Compassion in Crisis, you know, because of the God in Nysi Kilgore. So again, I just thank you, because one of the things that I find is that, you know, no one has to live for God.
Oh, no,
no one has to live for God.
And a lot of people don't
and
anymore.
so when you have especially a young person that has made the choice to stand for Christ, that is to be honored. That is to be honored. And so, yes, I clap my hands to you. Yes, thank you for your stand for Christ.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And so, Nysi, I wanted to ask you, you know, again, let's go back regarding that college experience, because, you know, I want you to give us some nuggets. You know, for example, oh, you know, I had to get to this question, Nysi. You know the one I'm talking about. And so, transparency. Yeah. Transparency is a tool that teaches and transforms others. And so, you know, as an attractive young lady in college, such as yourself,
thank you.
Were you ever distracted by boys? And if so, how did you bounce back?
Yeah, transparent. To be honest, boys were not a distraction for me. Not because I wasn't approached. Not because guys didn't like me. It was make that clear. Let's make that clear. Not because of that, but because I didn't allow it to be. No, I think for girls, if you're going to college and you feel, you know, that you know what I found is more of the distraction. I found that relationships nowadays aren't really the distraction. It's the stigma and the pressure to have a relationship that is the distraction. And I can say that for a season that was distracting for me. Not a relationship, but the pressure. I go to a Christian college. Good. I go to a Christian college, and a thing that's heavily said on campus is ring before spring. You know, everyone's half the people that I came in with as a freshman are like married now. And we've only been in school for like 3 years.
Oh,
you
so
know,
that was what was it called?
Ring by spring.
A ring by spring.
Like a ring by spring, like engaged by the springtime. You know? No, for real. It's like a real thing. And so if you're not distracted, you don't have a relationship, you're not interested right now in being, I don't want a ring by spring right now, you know? I'm trying to be on a plane by spring, you know? Send me across the world. I don't want a ring by spring right now, you know? But that stigma, that pressure of, I have to have a relationship, or I have to be in a relationship, you know, and the rest, that can be distracting. And so what I can say to a young woman that's out there that, you know, is going to school, stay focused, you know? If you have a clear view of your goal, you have a clear view of what you want, what you desire, what you're here for. I didn't come to college to find a husband. I didn't come to college to find a boyfriend. I didn't come for that. I came on a mission to get my education and to do, you know, to further my life. And when you come in with that mindset, I'm not saying don't, you know, not to explore or have a relationship. I'm not saying that, because, you know, and when you do it, I did have a friend for a while, you know, when you do it, you know, stay in public places, you know, go out with a group of people, you know, If I was out late at night, it was with my parents. If it was me and my parents, or me and another group, use wisdom. So I'm not saying like don't talk to people.
This is good. This is good. I love this balanced teaching, because what we're talking about, we're giving strategy. No one is saying that you are dead.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that you won't ever be attracted to someone, or someone won't be attracted to you.
Just use wisdom.
But we have to use wisdom. Come on, I love what you said. Can you go over that again?
Yeah, just use wisdom when you do. I was very don't stay out. Don't nothing good happens after 10 o'clock, okay? Nothing good happens after 10 p.m. Make sure if the sun is down, be in your house, or if you're, with a group of girlfriends, whatever, but you shouldn't be alone one-on-one with a guy, or if you're out stay in public places, even when I was out late at night with my parents, be accountable to somebody, if I was out late at night, and even if it was with a group and he happened to be there, I let my parents know, hey, I'm out. This is where I'm at.
That's good.
It's good. And even if I was out with a group of people, it wasn't out at night in the movie theater. It was out at night with a group of people at Steak and Shake, Because you could be with a group of people and something could still happen if you're not in the right environment. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, use wisdom and still have a clear view of your goals. If you're with someone and that person is distracting you or is a distraction to you need to reevaluate. Because they should be adding to your life, not distracting you from your life. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
If you can't study together and you can't stay focused on your own clear paths, your own clear goals, because honestly right now, I know a lot of people are getting married, but we're so young, we're still developing and becoming and maturing and being made, so we're all still in our own little processes. So if the person coming along is distracting you from your process or distracting you from doing what you need to do, you need to reevaluate it, period.
I love it. This is good. This is so good, because when I was in college, I'm telling you, the males, if anyone knows my testimony, was distracting me because I wasn't focused. I didn't know who I was. I did not, I didn't.
That's so
come
key.
on.
Knowing who you are will keep you from being distracted. No. Knowing who you are, having a clear view of this is who I am. So regardless of who you are. This is who Nysi is. And what Nysi does and does not do is this. Set clear boundaries. What I'm not doing is this. What I will do, set cleir boundaries. But you can't set boundaries unless you know yourself and know what your boundaries are.
That's
good. And that's why a lot of people don't have boundaries, because they don't know they don't know who they are. And so you're exploring who you are while you're exploring someone else. So you can't even, there are no clear boundaries.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that too, before you get into a relationship or before you decide that you want to talk to someone, whatever, make sure you know who you are. Make sure you have a clear, concrete understanding. Yes, you're changing. Yes, we're becoming. But you can have a foundation of, this is who I am, and this is what I will not compromise on.
That's
because of who I am,
That's it. We cannot compromise who we are. If you have made that conviction and said, I will not have sex before marriage, then you have to set that boundary in place. And so let's say you do have a friend.
Yeah.
A friend. And you feel like you need to let that friend know what your boundaries are.
Yes, up front.
This is the line.
Up front.
Come on.
Don't wait until you get into a situation to state your boundaries. I've seen it happen with many of my friends. Many people that I know, they wait too late to set boundaries. Don't wait too late to set boundaries. If boundaries scare him, or boundaries run him off, he wasn't the one anyway, sis. Let him go.
Let him go. This is good. This is good because, like you said, you try to set boundaries when it's too late. Both of y'all and, y'all in the room naked.
And now you want to set boundaries.
Now you want to say, I don't think this is a good idea. Too late. See, now you might really be in a situation because what if he say, "Oh no,
wrong guy"?
What if he say, "Oh no, we're going all the way"?
Yeah,
with or without your consent, right? But this is so good. I love this intelligence that you're giving to this generation. Is that we have to know ourselves. That we have to have. I love also how you communicated with your parents.
Yes,
right. That's big. That's critical because oftentimes what the enemy would do, especially in those transitional stages regarding adolescence, college years, try to have us operate in secrecy.
Yeah,
and lies.
Yeah.
Right, but we have to operate in that spirit of truth. Can you talk about that? Truth, transparency.
No, I talked I was talking to my mom earlier this week about it. I think a lot of kids when we get to college, sometimes we still hold ourselves, and our parents do too, to who we were, the teenager of ourselves.
Wow.
And so we feel like, I still have to ask my parents' permission. I still have to honestly, my mom has told me, Nysi, you're about to be 21 years old. In about 6 months, I'll be 21. She's like, you're an adult. I can't tell you what decisions you are to and are not to make. She goes, that's not my conviction anymore. She goes, but as your mom, I would just like to know what decisions you are making, She's like, I'm not going to tell you that you can't do it. You're grown. I can't tell you that you can't go out. I can't tell you that you can't go hang out with that person.
And see, I love your mom for doing that. Let me tell you why I love your mom for doing that, because I remember, my testimony was that, in college, fornication, being with a married man, ended up contracting a sexually transmitted disease, which I was later cured from. But I can remember when I went to the doctor and the nurse gave me my diagnosis, right? She said, ma'am, you have chlamydia, right? And so I remember thinking, can you tell, I asked her, I said, can you tell my mother? And she was like, no, you're an adult.
They can't.
I was like, I am an adult. It was like
mind blown.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, I am an adult. But I love how your mother, she's already preparing you and your siblings for the real world. Because when you get in the real world, they don't want to talk to your mom and dad.
No. They cannot. This is against the law for them to talk to your mom and daddy about you, okay? But my mom has always said, Nysi, I'm not going to tell you what you can or cannot do. She goes, but my respect for you goes up so much higher when you're just real with me about what you are doing, So I'm not gonna tell you to stop. She goes, because you have to understand that as an adult, when you make decisions, there are consequences for your decisions. I just want to know, because my thing is, your parents can't cover you. They can't pray for you the right way if you're not just being real about what what's going on in your life. Just be real. Be real. If you feel like you can't be real because they're gonna love me less or whatever, those aren't the people that you need anyway. Your parents, the people that love you, regardless of what your will is, it might take them a while to get over the shock of it. They might be disappointed for a while, but they will always love you, and they will be in your corner because that's what they were created to. My mom and dad were created to be in my corner.
Yes,
created to cover me. So I know that regardless of what I do, even if it's a decision that they don't want me to make, they're gonna be in my corner.
See, this is big, and I love this because oftentimes, maybe you'll be out and about. Maybe you're going to the grocery store, and you'll see a young person with their parents, and that young person will have purple hair, right? That young person will have blue hair, green hair,
pink hair,
nose rings, all type of stuff going on. And what happens is, someone that doesn't have any wisdom on the situation will look at the parents and judge the parents. But I'm gonna tell you something, those parents have a revelation. Now, yes, we pray for our children, we try to help lead and guide them in the way that they should go.
Yes.
But you have to allow your child the freedom to think and the freedom to make their own decision.
No, yes, and that is the advice that I would give. My parents helped me so much through my transition by giving me the grace to figure out who I was and what I wanted to be and who I wanted to become. They gave me grace. Like, I mean, my parents sitting me down saying, you're leaving this house, you're 18 years old, we can no longer tell you what to do or what not to do, but if you need us, we'll be there. Parents have to understand that once your child hits a certain age, the relationship changes. You're no longer a parent, you're not coach.
Wow, say that again.
You're no longer a parent. I mean, you're still a parent, but you're less than a dictator. You're now a coach. I get to coach you through these things. And with a coach, I can choose whether or not I want to listen to my coach or not. But that doesn't mean you didn't give me the advice.
Wow.
That doesn't mean you didn't tell me what I needed to hear. You get what I'm saying? But I made a decision to either listen to the coach or not to listen to the coach. But you have to understand, as a coach, you can't be offended if I choose not to listen to you. I think parents get so easily offended. Well, you're the child and blah, 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 blah. No. My parents did not do that. You didn't. Okay, that's not what you want to do. Okay.
Wow. And so this is key. And again, we're going to be balanced. We have to make sure that we be respectful.
Yeah. No. Right? Yes. Yes. You are 18. Yes, you are grown. But that's still your mama and that is still your daddy. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Those are still your parents, and there's still a level of respect that they are honored. They are supposed to get. Bible says, give honor where honor is due. Children, obey your parents. No matter how old you get, children, honor your father and your mother. No matter how old you get, you're still their child. So that means for the rest of your life, you're required to honor Honor is not being disrespectful. Honor is not going off on the mouth. Honor is not saying, well, I'm grown so I can do what I want to do when they give you advice. You know what I'm saying? And I think that is the key, you know? Parents will receive you so much better if you're just respectful with what you're going to say to them. They might not like it, but they can never take it away from you that you were respectful when you said it.
Wow. And so, Nysi, speaking of honor, you know, who do you honor? Who are some of the role models, the individuals in your life, you know, that have helped you along the way that you just want to honor right now?
Yeah, of course, my mom and dad. You know, I say it all the time. I would not have been able to make it through college without
say their names.
Yes. Ayana and Nysi Kilgore, you know. I would not have been able to make it. They were vital in my life. And then, of course, my pastor, my apostle Travis Jennings, and Pastor Stephanie Jennings. You know, the woman that you see today is not the girl that walked through Harvest Tabernacle Church's doors 8 years ago. I was quiet and I was timid and I had no idea what I was called to be or who I was supposed to become. But underneath their ministry, I bloomed and I blossomed, and they coached me and they developed me, and they told me, you hold a mic like this, you don't hold a mic like this. Or I don't know if you remember, there was a Ministers Roundtable where I was reading a passage of scripture and I was reading it so fast, and Apostle stopped the entire roundtable. He goes, go back and read that again. And he coached me through how to read and how to articulate my words and how to do it slowly, you know. And so I have to give honor to them because they saw something in me that I did not see in myself, and they chose to pull that out and develop it. And I, with their help and my parents' help, you know, I became who I am. And then, of course, like my older siblings, and I have a ton of god siblings, and I have my actual siblings, but my older siblings like Devonna Upshaw and John Upshaw, my sister and my brother, and Heidi David Daniels, you know, they have been vital, you know, wisdom outside of my parents that my parents trust, you know, wisdom outside my parents that have poured into me and helped develop me and said, oh, okay, yeah, maybe this, or what about this, or or been a safe space for me to vent. Please have safe spaces where you can vent, y'all. Safe spaces that you can trust that are not gonna go run tell your business or judge you or whatever, you know. Yes. And you know, have safe spaces. And then, you know, I often say it, but I honor the village that my parents have set. There's a lot of them, but the village that my parents have set around the Bible's not the Bible, but people say it takes a village to raise a child. Yes, it takes a village to pour into a child. Even the Proverbs 31 woman had a village around her, helping her do what she had to do. If you look in the Bible, wherever there's a great person, there's also a village around them. Ooh, and so, you know,
yes, thank you for the village.
Thank God for the village, you know. And you know, so for the godparents and aunts and uncles, I always give honor to the village because, you know, the village helped create who I am. You know, my grandparents, you know, my grandma, my granny, and you know, they helped make me who I am, you know. And so when I'm making decisions, when I'm doing things, when I'm deciding things, I think about my village. Yes. And you know, and although I don't let their expectations be a burden to me, I do make the decision that I want to honor the village with my life. Yes. I want to honor God with my life. And so even though I have the freedom to make my own decisions, I want to make sure I'm making the right decisions, the honorable decisions. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Really quickly, Nysi, I know that how can we connect with you? Tell us how we can connect with you. Yes, I'm on all social media. So, Instagram at Nysi Kilgore, Facebook Nysi Kilgore, Twitter is Nysia McCole, and then you can also get in contact with me through www.rootedanchor.com. Yes, wow, you guys, make sure that you follow this awesome individual. I'm telling you, this is an individual that you want to know. I just want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule. Yes, absolutely. So much fun. It was. This is fun. So yes, exciting. Wow, you guys. And so I want you guys to make sure that you tune in next week. We have some great things coming up, some great guests, and you guys, I just want you to check out my website, www.mariabyrd.org. Again, thank you to my special guest. Will you come back? Yes. You let me know when and I will be here. Yes, I will be here. Yes, you guys. Well, thank you so much for listening. Remember, next week, same time, same place, right here on The Conversation with Maria Byrd.
Thank you for tuning in to The Conversation with Maria Maria Byrd. Every Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. on WIGO 1570 AM radio.
So let's have this conversation like a radio station.
WIGO AM 1570, Morrow, Atlanta.
Well, you guys, again, I want to thank my very special guest, Nysi Kilgore. And Nysi, I want you to really quickly just to tell the people about, you have a missions trip coming up?
Yes. I'm going June 20th through the 30th with my church, the Harvest Tabernacle Church, to South Africa for a missions trip. I'm super excited. I'm super pumped. We're going to be doing soup kitchens and handing out shoes and socks to children and going around and doing groceries and day camps for the kids and just spreading all the price to the people.
And so how can they partner with you?
Yes, you can. We need donations,
yes.
Of course. So we're still trying to pay off our balance for our trip. So if you would like to give towards the trip, you can Cash App at Cash App $Nysi Kilgore, NYSI KILGORE. And if you're led and it's placed on your heart and you want to donate so someone can have groceries and shoes and socks, we're asking for $40 donations for that. And you can send that Cash App to Cash App $, the Harvest Tabernacle Church.
Yes, wow. OMG, you guys, this was absolutely amazing. Thank you again to my special guest, Nysi Kilgore. And you guys, make sure you tune in next week to the next edition of The Conversation with Maria Byrd.